In today's video, I will take you through a simple rural watercolor scene for winter. This is perfect for basically any level, even if you are very much a beginner with watercolor. I'm using some Payne's Gray on a size 16 round brush. The size of the paper that I'm working on is a 5x7, and I had already put some clear water across the very bottom of the paper in a slanted motion. So from about the middle of the left side down toward, sloping down toward the right. I want to create the look of a hill, and I'm keeping the intensity of the watercolor a little more intense at the bottom of the paper and then letting it thin out as it works its way toward the middle of the paper. And I like to have my paper loose so that I can move it around with my hands. You'll see that I'm tilting it a bit. And then since watercolor lightens up quite a bit as it dries, I'm adding in a bit more of that dark Payne's Gray down at the bottom and letting it run toward the center of the paper. I've got a bit of the water pooling down in the bottom right corner, so I'm using a paper towel to dab that up. And I ended up removing a little bit too much of the paint with that motion, so I'm going to come back in and add some of that Payne's Gray down in that bottom right, just so that I've got the color going all the way over to the corner. Now I'm using some clear water to go along the very top of the painting. I want to do more of this wet and wet technique. And then I'm mixing some French ultramarine blue and some pyrrole scarlet. It's off screen, but you basically want to mix any blue and red until you get more of a purplish violet color. That's really common in winter skies. You get this beautiful purple, and I'm dropping that in and letting the water do its thing and pull that pigment downward. I'm just encouraging it along and making sure that it's evenly spread out from left to right. And then I'm using just a bit more pigment at the top. Doing more pigment at the top and also at the bottom creates a really beautiful vignette effect once you remove the tape from the painting. I'm going to dab up this extra water alongside. I wanted just a bit more of the purple here. Again, because watercolor lightens up so much as it dries, I want to be sure that I've still got the essence of that color after the paper is dry. Now I'm adding in some yellow. I want to imply a very low sunset, and I picked up a bit more water on my brush because I want to dilute the yellow a little bit. I don't want it to be too intense. I just want the hint of yellow. And even though it will lighten up a bit, it's still looking a little too intense to me here. So I'm going to use the paper towel and dab just a bit of that off so that we get a nice whisper of color instead of having it hit you over the head. At this stage, I'm going to dry it completely. And I will speed through this part, but basically you want your paper to be bone dry. Now I'm using a size 5 round brush. I've tagged all of the supplies in the description below. Now I'm using the very tip of the brush, and I picked up some more Payne's Gray, and I'm going to lightly sweep the tip from left to right and start to create the illusion of hills off in the distance. I'm using a slightly watery mix of the Payne's Gray because this is off in the distance, so you won't have any very super defined lines. It'll be a little hazy around the edges. To get those thicker lines, I'm rolling the brush down toward the belly of the brush to get those thick lines, and then picking it back up again to get the thinner lines with just the very point of the brush. Now using the size 16 brush again, I picked up a very light wash of the purple and the Payne's gray, and I'm sweeping it over the sky to imply that there are some very thin, hazy clouds, and I want to keep this asymmetrical, so it's thinner over on the left side and then takes up more of the sky over on the right. You'll see that the color over on the right side helps balance out the deeper color over on the bottom left and helps create a really nice, harmonious composition. I am drying that down thoroughly. If you have a travel hair dryer, it is great for keeping in your studio space and being able to dry your paintings. I love this little hair dryer. Now we're back to the smaller size 5 brush, and I'm going to start adding some detail to the landscape. I have a lot of light and mid-tones so far, so to add contrast and interest, I'm going to add some deeper tones using the Payne's gray. Winter tones in general are always much more subdued, and so this really lends itself to a limited palette like I'm using here. There are just a few colors in the mix. This is Payne's gray that is straight out of the tube, and of course you can also use pans, watercolor pans, if that is what you have. That is perfectly fine too. Just use less water on your brush and it'll make the color a bit more intense. And I'm wiggling the brush around to get different lines, moving it vertically, horizontally, and making some thicker portions that can imply brush or low vegetation along the landscape. I lightened the color ever so slightly. I still want it to be darker than the very background, but a little bit lighter than the color that I just laid down, and that will help imply perspective and the colors getting lighter as they move away from you, the viewer. I'm following the lines that I already laid down, and that way I can leave patches of snow in between the lines. Similar to what I did in the sky, I'm keeping this more tapered over on the left side and then expanding out the detail as I go over toward the right side. Diagonal lines and asymmetrical lines are a really great way to grab the viewer's eye and move them through the painting. I'm adding a few more little streaks with just the very tip of the brush. It adds a little bit more detail to the ground without getting too distracting from the main event, which are those darker colors. And then I'm going to dry all of that completely. From here you can make any last little adjustments that you want. I wanted a little more depth in the back center there and off to the right side. I love some good contrast in my paintings. My favorite part, of course, is removing the tape and revealing those beautiful white borders. I always feel like the painting looks so perfectly finished at this point. Thank you so much for joining me for this easy tutorial. I hope you found it easy, and I would love to see you for a future painting.